Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we'll learn all about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. It could help you with your heating bills this winter. First, though, we check out weather and news for you. Currently in Quincy, cloudy. It's 40 degrees right now. Top off in the lower 40s this afternoon as the clouds increase. They will bring rain. Probably late tonight it will start. Lows tonight drop off into the upper 30s, but definitely by tomorrow morning it's raining pretty heavily. Could be kind of blustery too. It'll be mild though. Look at tomorrow's highs, right around 50 degrees. Rain should taper off throughout the day, and that'll lead to a bright but a blustery day on Sunday. Don't be fooled by the 44-degree temperature there. The wind will make it feel a lot chillier and more seasonable here on Monday with sun and clouds, and Monday's highs into the lower 40s. Again, cloudy and 40 in Quincy right now. In the news today, police say they have broken up a $1 million drug trafficking operation that was based out of Quincy. Back on Monday, officers from several South Shore police departments executed 4 search warrants in Quincy and 1 in Weymouth, arrested 8 people and seized upwards of $1 million worth of drugs and 5 firearms. Now, police say they confiscated cocaine, crack cocaine, and fentanyl worth $750,000, 11 pounds of marijuana worth $22,000, $384,000 in cash, 4 handguns with extended magazines, 1 handgun with a silencer that may also be a machine gun. 8 men and women between the ages of 19 and 33 from Brockton, Taunton, Fall River, Weymouth, and Oxford are all facing multiple drug trafficking and firearms violations. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. Also recently, Quincy police broke up an illegal drug manufacturing operation that was based in a trailer and a rental garage in a residential area of Wollaston. Officers say they found commercial-grade pill-making equipment, chemicals used to make pills, and fentanyl in that trailer. The trailer was taken to police headquarters and safely dismantled. So far, no arrests are reported, but police say that investigation is also ongoing. Quincy City Councilors have taken another step forward in regulating short-term rentals. The Ordinance Committee has approved of measures that would require short-term rentals to register with the city and pay taxes and fees. It would also prevent short-term rentals in residential areas. Ward 6 City Councilor William Harris says that's been a problem in coastal neighborhoods.
It goes right all the way up the East Coast and probably all the way down to Florida when it comes to Airbnb. Some of them are good, some of them are great, but right now, when you don't have the restrictions, you don't have the bite, as we said. I support this, and I thank Councilor McCarthy for raising it, and I again second the motion. And this is all about the people and quality of life. I mean, the folks are paying too much in taxes to have somebody who comes in and just can ruin a street and ruin people's summers like last year, I know in Squantum. So I'm all in, and I hope everybody understands where I'm coming from, and thank you, Madam Chair, for letting me speak.
Now, some councilors still have questions about how the regulations would impact legitimate short-term rental owners, and they're asking for more information at the next meeting. The new regulations could be enacted by March 15th. Quincy City Councilors want to know why Fox Rock Properties of Quincy hasn't started building the new medical center that they promised at the site of the former Ross parking garage in Quincy Center. The administration has said the delay was caused in part by the pandemic, but also because Fox Rock is still negotiating with potential tenants. Ward 4 Councilor Brian Palmucci said Fox Rock should accept an invitation to tell the council that themselves.
Perhaps that's because you have more frequent communications with them. But what I find shameful is that when the body, through the chair of the Oversight Committee and the Ordinance Committee, ask them to come in and answer some questions from councilors, that they don't. That's what I find shameful. And if they send a memo instead, that to me is shameful, because we're all adults and we understand if there's a question they can't answer because they're in contractual negotiations with somebody. We understand that. We get that. One of the questions I want to ask them, many of the questions I want to ask them, is what they did in that first 18 months. So separate and apart from COVID-19, what did they do? What steps did they take to accomplish this development program? So for them to say to us that now is not the time, I don't think that's up to them. If the council has questions based on the community having questions, then the time to answer questions is when the questions arise. Again, we're all grown-ups here. We're not going to put them at any type of legal jeopardy if they need to say, you know what, we just can't speak to that one particular issue.
Fox Rock did pledge to build a large new medical complex and said that Brigham and Women's Hospital would operate that center. As she prepares to retire soon, Quincy Health Commissioner Ruth Jones remains focused on the pandemic. This week, she told the City Council that there is a post-holiday surge underway in Quincy and that the vaccines are the only way out.
I think the vaccine right now is our best shot at getting even close to getting back to normal. And, you know, I think some of the hesitation that people have for vaccination is some of the side effects that were originally seen with the first doses of vaccine, Pfizer vaccine, with hospital workers. And if you look at the amount of vaccines that have been given and the amount of anaphylactic or allergic reactions that people have had, the number is really very small. Anybody can have an allergic reaction to any type of vaccine, to any type of medicine. But I think that people need to understand this is an important vaccine. When my turn comes up to get it, I will get vaccinated. And I think it's important that people do what they feel they have to do. But I think vaccination is really one of the most important aspects of this to get us out of this, this pandemic.
Jones did report that there is not transmission of COVID-19 occurring in the school buildings and that deaths are not increasing. She plans to retire at the end of the month after 19 years with the Quincy Health Department. She was appointed commissioner in April of 2019 after former Commissioner Drew Shealy retired. Quincy City Council President Nina Liang was unanimously re-elected president of the council by her colleagues this week. Liang said she was extremely grateful for their support and proud of the work that they've done so far.
My nomination for a second year to all of my colleagues. Thank you so much for an incredible year, an amazing year. It's definitely been a challenging one and not one that I think any of us could have ever anticipated when we started off a year ago. But I will say a heartfelt thank you to each of you for staying focused and on task to things that are important to you. Last year at this time, I was super proud to stand up and accept, representing this council because of the diversity of experience and background, and more importantly than that, passion to serve your constituents. And I have seen all of you fight to continue to serve your constituent on issues that are important to you and that you are committed to in your jobs. And it has been an absolute honor to be a supportive role in that way as much as possible in all the calls I've had with you on issues that you've brought up to all of us as a body, issues that you've worked on, and ordinances that you've worked on, resolves that you've worked on. And so to be able to lead that effort and to help collaborate anything that needs to get done to move that has really been an honor. I love doing the work. It is absolutely something that I take pride in. And with everything that's going on in the world these days, particularly last week, it really does bring me so much hope to be able to come back into this space and work with all of you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and to everyone in the clerk's office, to Nikki, to Sue, to Kathy, to everyone really, and specifically to Jen. I don't think any of this would have been possible without you. So thank you so much for getting all of us through this last year.
Liang was first elected to the City Council back in 2015. She will serve as council president through the end of the year. Ward 2 City Councilor Brad Kroll is resigning. Kroll announced this week that his last meeting will be next Tuesday night.
Obviously, as we all know, this job is it's not a 9 to 5. It's more like a 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And through careful thought and consideration, and careful thought and consideration with my wife, we come to the conclusion that I will be stepping down effective January 19th. Tough decision, but I believe it's the right one. Allow me to have more family time and focus my energy on some other opportunities. But I just want to be clear. I'll have my epilogue written for next council meeting. But as I've shared with you, I'm 110% all in and available to help with the transition. So I just wanted to make that part of the public record, and thank you.
Kroll was first elected Ward 2 councilor in 2012 and has served as council president and chair of the Finance Committee. He said he wants to spend more time with his growing family. Kroll ran unsuccessfully for Norfolk County Treasurer last fall against former Norfolk County Sheriff Mike Bellotti of Quincy. The City Council will now appoint a replacement that will serve until the November elections. Now, 3 more officers are being welcomed to the Quincy Police Department this week. Sean Harrington, Andrew Minton, and William Murphy are all military veterans with bachelor's degrees. Harrington comes from the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office. He spent 8 years in the Air Force. Minton is following in his father Dan's footsteps after his recent retirement. Minton served in the Army and is currently a National Guardsman. And Murphy served 4 years in the Marine Corps and is a third-generation police officer after his father and grandfather served with the Woburn Police Department. Coming up, Reed Lamberty of Eversource chats with us about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. That's next.
Hey, Massachusetts, what do you want to get back to?
Giving hugs, seeing my friends.
Taking my wife dancing.
I want to get back to taking my kids on play dates.
I want to get back to Fenway.
I want to get back to partying.
We've worked hard, but we're not there yet. So we still need to wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth. Keep our distance, at least 6 feet apart. And get tested. It's free and available. We can get back masks. Learn how at mass.gov/getback.
Podcasting 101. Create your own podcast using the QATV audio suite. Learn the basics of the audio board, how to take phone calls, and add music from a CD, SD card, or your phone. Participants will also learn interview skills to help get the most out of your guest. To register for a session, email Carol Themin at cthemin@qatv.org or call 617-376-1440.
Lighting is very important. It's what could make or break your video. Learn the basic techniques for lighting in different scenarios using light kits, social lights, or your lights at home. Our first class takes place on January 27th at 6:30. To register for a session, email Carol Themin at cthemin@qatv.org or call 617-376 1440. We hope to see you there.
Normally about this time of year, we like to focus on the Good Neighbor Energy Fund, and typically Marie McCabe joins us from North Attleboro Electric to chat a little bit about that. This year, we're pleased to welcome Reed Lamberty from one of the participating energy companies, Eversource, to learn more about the fund and how you might be able to benefit and help. So, Reed, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. We're happy to focus on this every year. It's really become kind of iconic now, that little green envelope that we get in our energy bills every month, right? That's the Good Neighbor Energy Fund.
It is, and it's such an important fund, and it really is. It's something that's very important for so many customers who are struggling, and really important for our other customers who can and have the opportunity to help out those other customers in need. So what it basically is, it's a fund that's sponsored by 19 energy companies across Massachusetts, and it's available to any household that cannot meet a month's energy expense and does not qualify for state or federal assistance. So this really is targeted to those customers, those households and families that effectively make a little bit too much money, but are finding themselves in a temporary, and it's an important temporary financial crisis. So maybe a job loss or an unexpected medical expense, and they're having a tough time meeting their monthly bills. This Good Neighbor Energy Fund steps in and helps fill that gap. And for those families who qualify, you receive one $300 check, and it goes to help pay your energy costs.
And particularly, during the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of people are finding themselves in that situation where they may not have in the past.
Yeah, I think so. And we're seeing the need a little bit greater this year. We're anticipating that the Good Neighbor Energy Fund is going to help about 1,500 households this year, which is more than what it has been in previous years. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. COVID has been absolutely devastating. I think a lot of people are finding themselves in a temporary or potentially even more long-term financial crisis because of job loss or because of the businesses closing, illness, obviously. So I think it's something where this Good Neighbor Energy Fund this year, perhaps more than ever, is that much more important. We really are asking and encouraging our customers who can to give whatever you can to help out those families in need.
Yeah, conversely, folks are finding themselves in a financial bind. Are you seeing donations to the fund down?
Well, we're not, we haven't seen the total numbers yet, and those numbers they will continue to come in. What we are asking, what we do is, obviously from our perspective at Eversource, you'll find that green envelope in a bill, and that is effectively the envelope into which you will put your donation and send it back. Other utilities have an option where you can add $1 to your bill, your monthly bill, and pay it that way. You can also send it in the old-fashioned way via check, or you can visit the website at magoodneighbor.org and make a donation that way.
Okay, so 1,500 requests. How does that compare to a non-pandemic year, Reed?
Normally we'll get about 1,000. A lot of times they happen to about 1,000 families, and this year we anticipate the fund will be assisting about 1,500 families. This is the 36th year of the Good Neighbor Energy Fund. More than $22.5 million has been raised over that time. Really is it speaks volumes of the people of Massachusetts who have made such tremendous donations to help our other customers and other homeowners and their neighbors in need. We're very proud at Eversource. We give $90,000 every year since the beginning of the fund. We're the largest corporate sponsor. Very proud that to participate in this and to help our customers and to help customers across the Commonwealth. But again, even more proud of our customers who are dipping into their wallets and really sometimes at a very difficult time and helping out those households and those families who are finding themselves in that temporary crisis.
Yeah, do you know about how much the fund has given out in its history?
$22.5 million, about $22.5 million in contributions. About 90,000, just over 90,000 families or households have been helped since the fund began, again, 36 years ago. So it really has had a tremendous impact, and so many families have been helped, and we hope that trend continues.
Yeah. Now, how many energy companies you said, and how many? 19.
Yeah, 19 energy companies across the Commonwealth.
Yeah. Is it grown at that point? Do you know?
That's something that I think over the years it has been, but it's been a strong support for the utility companies since the beginning of the fund because it is such an important fund. I think everyone recognizes it, and all utilities recognize it. People you find themselves in temporary situations. And I think with COVID, as we kind of briefly touched upon, we're going to have a lot of homeowners and households who perhaps have never asked for help in the past, who are finding themselves in a position where they actually need to ask for help. And that's completely fine. It's absolutely okay. Again, this is a one-time payment. It's $300. Is it going to solve all your problems? No. Is it going to help you pay your energy bill? Absolutely. And that's one of those bills that we get it every month. And we see them, obviously, because of the winter, the heating season, those bills seem to go up. Now, we do want to point out that the Good Neighbor Energy Fund, even though really the focus is during the winter season, this is something where families can apply and can receive funds if they qualify in the spring and the summer as well. So it's not just a winter issue. This is something that really goes on throughout the year as well.
Okay, and it certainly can donate throughout the year as well, too, right?
Absolutely, you can.
Sure. Does it pay for all forms of energy? Gas, electric, oil?
Yes, it is $300, and it goes directly to pay your energy costs, and that could be gas, it could be oil, it could be electric, however you receive your energy.
Okay, and so it's a flat benefit, right? It's not a sliding scale. It's like either you approve or you don't approve.
Yeah, there is. And there is families need to qualify. Again, this is not for families. This is for families or households that really do find themselves, again, in that temporary financial crisis. And it is targeted to those who otherwise would effectively fall through the cracks. People who maybe make too much money to qualify for that state or federal assistance that we mentioned earlier. It's there to help them get through this temporary rough patch in life, if you will. This is administered, by the way, through the Salvation Army. They are the arbiters of this, so to speak. They collect the funds. They go through the qualification process, and they issue the funds. So this is directly through the Salvation Army. 100% of every dollar contributed to the fund goes directly to families in need.
Okay. And the payment itself, Reed, how does that work? Does that go to the homeowner, or does that go to the power company? How does it work?
Goes to the homeowner.
Oh, it does? Okay. So it's up to them to use that to pay them.
And it is direct. It is a specific cost, so they'll receive the $300, but it is something for which that they use for their energy. So it's not like you can receive it and then use it for elsewise. It is specifically for the use of your energy bill, and it does get applied to your energy cost.
Okay. And is it retroactive? Say if you had some trouble in the past and you're just applying now, could you pay
It's applying now. You'll get one-time payment. So if you're applying now and for example, I had an issue last year as well. This will be a one-time. You get a one-time per season per household. So you have to qualify. There are parameters and there are guidelines to be eligible for the fund. Again, you have to be in a temporary financial crisis. Your income must fall between 60 and 80% of the state's median income levels. Let me give you an example of that. A household of four has to have a gross yearly income between $75,000 and $100,000. So you apply. If you fall within that, you apply, and then the Salvation Army looks at the households and looks at your application, and it is the Salvation Army who determines who in fact applies, and it's the Salvation Army who then issues that payment.
Okay. And say you've been denied one season, but your situation has since changed. Can you reapply?
Absolutely, you can reapply. Again, you have to meet those guidelines. You have to fall between 60 and 80% of the state's median income. But if in fact you do that and you're finding yourself in a temporary pinch, you should be able to receive that fund.
Okay. And obviously you have to be a customer of one of the participating power companies, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. The Salvation Army, we have a headquarters right here in Quincy, actually, so folks can be assured that the payment will be made from their local organization. About how long is the process take after you apply, would you say?
Unfortunately, that I can't answer. I'm not sure how long that process is. That will probably be a question better directed to the Salvation Army. But I do know that this is, again, we collect the money on behalf of the Salvation Army. We and the other 18 utilities across the Commonwealth, and all of that money goes directly to them. They have an account. They have a separate account. They hold that account, and they make sure that those funds are properly dispersed to those families who qualify.
Okay, and I'm guessing it's tax deductible if you make a donation.
It is a donation. It is and this is a nonprofit organization. So yes, it is a tax deductible for whatever donation you make. And how many times have we heard this before? But it certainly does bear repeating. You know, any donation helps. Any and every donation helps, even if it's $1. You know, you have to take a look at what you can afford, what you feel is appropriate and necessary. But again, every single dollar, 100% of it goes directly to the Good Neighbor Energy Fund and goes directly to help struggling neighbors across the Commonwealth pay their energy bill.
And stay warm, right? It's called "Give the Gift of Warmth." Is the campaign slogan?
Yeah, and again, this is something where we see, you know, it seems a peak during the heating season because the cost of heating, you know, can get quite expensive. But again, I want to reiterate, Joe, that this is something that families can take advantage of throughout the year. It's not just a winter. It's not just something you receive during the winter. You can apply and you can receive funds in the spring and the summer as well.
Do you know, are the funds taxable, Reed? Is something you have to report as a gift?
Unfortunately, that I don't know. I don't think I can answer that one, but you know, that would probably be something you might want to check with your accountant. If you do receive that, certainly something you want to, you know, check with your accountant to see if that is something you would need to claim. Yeah,
good advice. Or maybe the Salvation Army could help you with that as well. Sure. Do you know, is there currently a moratorium on shutoffs? I thought that was part of the governor's emergency orders, was that what energy could not be turned off right now.
Right. Yes, and we are not disconnecting any of our customers right now for any non-payments. What we are encouraging our customers to do, as we have for quite a while, especially with the COVID pandemic, we are encouraging our customers to reach out to our customer call center or to go on our website, eversource.com. We have a number of different financial programs available for our customers, those who qualify, and we have budget billing, for example. You can set up payment plans. But we are not giving any service disconnections right now.
Okay. So anything else we should tell folks about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund right now?
You know, I would say if you can, just donate whatever you can. You know, if you, you know, and if you want to donate, if you can't donate now, that's fine. Again, it's something you can donate year round. magoodneighbor.org is the website. You can also reach out to the local Salvation Army in your town, in your community, and make donations there. But you know, every little bit helps, and 100% of every little bit adds up to a lot, and that really does go out to help a lot of families. Again, since the start of this, over 90,000 families have been and households have received funds to the tune of $22.5 million.
Yeah, and like you say, a $300 payment can really get you over the hump, certainly here in the dead of winter. Yeah,
it's one less worry. Again, it's not going to solve all your problems, but it takes one worry off the table.
Yeah. Again, magoodneighbor.org, or I know there are a couple of 800 numbers. Do you have those handy if you could?
Yeah, so if you're in Eastern Massachusetts and you're interested in making a donation, you can call 1-800-334-3047. Again, that's if you live in the eastern part of the state. And if you live out in Western Mass, the number to call is 800-262-1320.
Great. Reed, really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and get the information out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Taking another look at the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Kind of the calm before the storm. Clouds, maybe a few sunny breaks. Pretty mild today with highs in the lower 40s. The rain will arrive late tonight, probably after midnight. Lows tonight into the upper 30s. The rain will continue in earnest, mostly tomorrow morning. Could be heavy at times. Very mild, too, with a high 50 degrees. Windy on Sunday with some sunshine in the mid-40s, and pretty quiet on Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Partly cloudy. Monday's highs in the low 40s. Thanks again to Reed Lamberty for joining us today. Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. We are off on Monday for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And a reminder, please take part in the Quincy COVID Memories Project. Share your experiences of life in Quincy during the pandemic. The website's quincyculturalmemory.com, or you can send your submissions to the Thomas Crane Library, attention Local History, at 40 Washington Street, Quincy, 02169. And please do visit our website too. Go to qatv.org for our latest programs, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, much more. For all of us here at Quincy Access Television, I'm Joe Catalano. Please stay safe.